And we can talk more about this now with Andreas Meyer-Schwickerath. He's the director of the British Chamber of Commerce in Germany. Thank you very much for being with us. Good morning. Now, German industry groups have sounded the alarm over the possibility of no deal, a hard Brexit. We even had one warning coming yesterday. How real a possibility is that, do you think?
It's quite a possibility. As you can see, the sixth round is over, and it ended up with an escalation in the negotiations. Barnier demanding within 14 days a move by the British, which is quite a considerable step. And I don't see anything happening on this matter at the moment.
All right, let's say nothing happens. Let's say high tariffs are slapped on goods moving between the UK and Germany. How damaging would that be?
It will be very damaging. You have to consider that we have employed in Germany about 400,000 people by British companies and vice versa, in Britain about 300,000 people by German companies. And of course, if the supply chains are interrupted and trade is interrupted, these working places will be negatively affected.
I mean, these are quite alarming numbers, and it's just one example. Germany is working on a new coalition government at the moment, and we know that German industry groups are likely to put pressure on politicians to, well, potentially allow Britain access to the free market. Do you think that pressure would work? Do you think they'd succeed?
We hope so. We certainly hope so, and also the British Chamber is doing the same thing in Germany. We are trying to support the negotiators and tell them, please, be reasonable in your demands. Don't put any negative PR in front of you and make Britain look bad. Try to look at the positive and try to look at what is at stake, and there's quite a bit at stake.
I mean, you use that phrase, negative PR, and I have to think about it when we talk about the talks that have effectively stalled in Brussels. That's certainly negative PR. Has that already hurt business interests, would you say?
I would say yes, and some companies have already put up contingency plans. They are moving partially some workers over to the other side of the channel, and businesses such as the Japanese automotive industry, which is producing most of its European exports from Britain, is looking into other sites, and that's a quite negative thing for Britain, I would say.
Let's just say a year ago, let's think back to then, some industry leaders were in favour of Britain leaving the European Union. Let's imagine, it's probably unlikely to happen, that there was a second referendum. Do you think they'd make the same choice?
Some would not, and I think many of the voters and the electorate would vote against Brexit. And if the parties put up a programme saying, with us you will stay in the European Union, I think this will be quite a run-up against the Conservatives who are currently ruling the country.
Do you feel let down by politicians?
In somewhat, yes. I think business and trade, and especially jobs, have not been looked at in depth. There was a lot of negative PR before the Brexit campaign. Things were publicized in a way that were really more motivated by self-interest rather than interest of the general public.
All right, Andreas Meyer-Schwickerath, director of the British Chamber of Commerce in Germany. Thank you for sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you for having me.